Page 18, popcorn. On page 17, they're giving a little bit of music theory and ear training. I don't do ear training in my videos. I cover the music theory in the lessons. However, there's a couple things in music theory they talk about on page 17, which I want to just introduce you to. And I'll talk more about them later. And that's the terms step and skip. You see it under number 1, step and skip. In music, when we play the next note next to the note we're on, that made no sense, it's called a step. You're stepping. So if I have a C and I play the next one up or the next one down, that's called a step. We're stepping to the next note. I'm just using white keys right now. Never mind that there might be a black key in between. Just remember it's a step. It's here. Okay. A skip is anything bigger than that. So a skip could be here or here. Anything bigger than next to it is a skip. Simple as that. Yeah. Let's talk popcorn. Now at the top of page 18, they're introducing you to another symbol. And it's important that you know and remember all these symbols, what they're called and what they mean. But I'll talk about them again and again and again and again. It's called a staccato. It helps if you can accept the fact that people don't agree on much of anything in music. Music theory, how it's played, interpretation, symbols, all that stuff, people don't agree on much of anything. So no matter what I say or how I say it, there will be people who will disagree with it. I say it to you so you understand that, because you might be listening to somebody say something and it's different than what you were taught. And you go, what? Just know that they disagree. Or maybe they're wrong, I don't know, but they disagree. Or maybe you're saying something and then they say, that's not right, let's do it well. They simply have been taught different than what you've been taught. Staccato. We have 2 basic flavors going on here in how you play the notes. I can connect the notes, it's one note after another. There's no silence in between them. There's no silence or sound all the way through. That's called legato. We haven't got there yet, but if you're going to introduce staccato, I need legato. Because a staccato is anything else. You got legato and staccato, take your pick. So staccato is disconnected. Disconnected, there's silence in between the notes. That's staccato. Now we have different lengths of staccato, because I can have short staccatos and I can have longer staccatos. They're separated, but barely. It's still staccato. The dot they're showing you up at the top of the page is the staccato. It's generally a short staccato. There are other symbols for staccato. We'll do those later. Just right now, understand the dot is the most common. You'll see it the most. It's a short staccato. Now, as far as the technique for playing it, there's different techniques, don't you know? I'm going to flex at the wrist here. And I'm just going to let the wrist do the work. Here, I'm on the key and I simply bounce off. Just bounce off, whatever it is. If it's real quick, you can't do that. There isn't time. You have to do this, but make sure it's a small motion. Don't go crazy. I'm going bump, 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 bump. Just real small, short. That's basically what we're going to do. Flex at the wrist. I'll do the other kinds of staccatos later, one thing at a time here. So that's what we're going to do with popcorn eventually. Some terms you're going to need to know because we're adding more and more stuff. The book hasn't introduced them yet, but I think you need to know them, so here you go. We have what's known as dynamics in music. A dynamic, as far as music goes, is how loud or soft it is. Dynamics deals in volume, loud and soft. We've had forte, we've had piano. That's dynamics. That's what's the dynamic. In addition to that, we have what's known as articulation. A very big word. Simply means how do you express the note? How do you articulate the note? How do you, not how you play it necessarily, because that's technique, but how do you express it? Legato or staccato That's an example of articulation, different ways of expressing the notes. When you sit down at a new piece of music, it's really handy if you can have some sort of a plan of attack of how you're going to go about learning that piece of music. It helps. No matter how hard the music is or easy or whatever, you can have a plan of attack. A series of steps you go through that covers all the stuff you got to cover in order to learn the music well and learn to play it correctly. I have one that I learned over the years, and you'll have your own. You develop your own, but for these videos, we're going to use mine. It's a good starting point, and then you can adjust it as you see fit. And when I start to learn a piece of music like popcorn, I have a series of steps, and we're going to start doing those now because they're already introducing dynamics and articulation, and things are getting complicated. First thing I do is I always look the thing over. I want a general idea of how long it is because some pieces can be 25, 30 pages long. I just want an idea. I don't need to know exactly how many measures or any of that, just how. And a popcorn, we look at it as 2 lines long. A line is all across, and then, okay, there's 2 of those. Now, it has a repeat sign, but don't worry about that. I'm just interested in how much music am I going to have to learn. And it looks like there's 2 lines here. And then a general idea what's in it. I see quarter notes and quarter rests. I don't see anything else. Oh, there's a half rest at the end of each line. So give me an idea of what kind of rhythm am I going to be looking at? How complicated is it? Then once I have that, I think I do the notes. I just play the notes. Forget the staccato. Just play the notes. Here, the left hand is, they're telling you in the chart where to put the hands. The left hand is here, 4, 3, 2, because that's it. And then 2, 3, 4 here. The right hand is here, because that's middle C. They want middle C here. And when we do the duet, this will sound better if you come up here. I'll get to that later when we get to the minute. So what I want to do first is I just want to play these notes and see if I can play them okay. And it's here. Rest, rest, 2, 3, 4. So I go through the whole thing and I make sure I can play the notes slowly. You can speed it up later. Don't worry about that. Just slowly. And then once I can do that, then I'll go back over it and practice it. And this can take time. It can take weeks or months depending on the piece. And work out any hesitations. You cannot have any hesitations. Once that beat starts at the beginning, for our purposes, it has to keep going all the way to the end. It doesn't change at all. We'll change it later. Right now, it's just a steady beat. Once it starts, from that first note, it's a steady beat until you play the last note. No hesitations. That's so important. Hesitations are a killer, and people do it a lot. I used to, and I just don't. Get rid of them. If you don't, the hesitation becomes part of the piece. You practice the hesitation. No. So once I can play it, all the notes okay, I got the rhythm okay. The rhythm is the long and short of the notes. Long and short, well, okay, they're all quarter notes and quarter rests pretty much. No hesitations. Then I add the articulation. And here it's staccato. This is where I add the rest. I'll make sure I get the staccato through the whole thing. And then once I have the staccato added, see, I build this up one thing at a time. Next, after staccato, I do the dynamics. You get an F at the beginning, loud, heavy. Just heavy, that's all right. And that's all they give you, so we're just going to play the whole thing loud. And then once I have the dynamics in, then I think about the speed. And this is fairly quick. This is... 3, 4. 2, 3, repeat. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I get the speed. No hesitations. If hesitations have a tendency to come back, you'll work them out. Okay, it's done. Next time you sit down and play it, you'll hesitate again. They have a tendency to come back. And each time you just got to stop and work them out again. Don't let them stay. There's a little more to this process, but for what we're covering, that's it. And I'm going to start using that process now on all these things. We're just going to go through it. Now, I have a play with me in most all the videos where I play the music slowly and you play along with me. We play slow. We're not performing it. We're just doing this to check that you have the correct notes and the correct rhythm, or that you're playing the notes at the right time. You should play the same note I'm playing when I play it. Hopefully you can hear that, whether it's the same or not. That's all it's for. If you have a teacher and you play a wrong note, a teacher will tell you, I hope. Or if your rhythm is off, they'll tell you, I hope. But if you don't have a teacher, how do you know you played a wrong note? How do you know your rhythm is correct? Well, play it with me slowly and check it. So I'll give us here 4 counts, 1, 2, ready, go. And let's play this slowly together. And we are going to repeat because it's got a repeat sign at the end. So we're going to play it twice. Now on the play with me's, I don't do the dynamics. I don't do the louds and softs. I'm just playing notes and rhythms. I will do the staccatos, but not the dynamics. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. So go ahead and put your hands where they go, here and here. Is that here? Yeah. No, here. We're not using the thumbs. We're here. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, repeat. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. There's a duet for this at the bottom of the page. I'd like to play that, and you play what you just played. However, in this case, I need you to come up where instead of here, you're up here. Come up to here. Just pretend that middle C went up here. You're up here. That's here. And we're going to speed it up a little bit. And remember to repeat. We got to repeat this. I'll give us 4 counts. Now keep in mind, I'm not taking it full speed. I slowed it down a little bit, but it's faster than the play with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat.